One other basketball story that we've been monitoring, we knew was going to happen. Yesterday it became official. Jaylen Cook's waiver was denied by the NCAA. This is something that we talked about leading into this, and it is an absolute crime. It's a travesty that this is happening. LSU did put out a statement yesterday about the decision on Cook and said that they were appealing. And this is the entire statement, or not the entire statement, but a summarization of the statement. LSU recently learned that the NCAA denied an immediate eligibility waiver for men's basketball student-athlete Jaylen Cook. Since then, we, talking LSU, this is from their statement, have submitted additional information to the NCAA for reconsideration or awaiting the next ruling. We believe strongly in the merit of Jalen's case for immediate eligibility upon his return to LSU, and we will continue to fight for him. We appreciate the NCAA's emphasis on student-athletes' wellness and mental health. Get the hell out of here. And we thank them for their diligence and continued consideration of Jalen's case. This is a crime, really. Someone up in Indianapolis with the NCAA not only should lose their job, somebody should have their ass kicked, really, for the way that this business is operated. IARP at the NCAA. I mean, first off, the timing of this. This waiver was put in nearly 7 months ago. The basketball season has officially, really, for all intents and purposes, started. Right? Like training camp, practice, all of the preparation of the season has been underway and really kind of in the tank at this point. And the NCAA just has the gall first to issue a statement and their decision at this point of the calendar, which makes absolute zero sense. And there should be some type of protocol put in place where when you put a waiver in, there should be some type of timeline and window that exists where you're going to get the answer back. Whether it's good, bad, whatever it is, you shouldn't have to wait nearly 8 months to find out what the status of your eligibility is. I mean, what do you do in Indianapolis? That is your job, to monitor the eligibility of the student athlete. So when somebody asks you whether or not they're eligible, why does it take nearly a year to tell them whether or not they can play? I mean, how bad of business is that to start off with? Forget the integrity of it, the professionalism of it. Just how bad is the business of that, just to ask for something and then 8 months later get a no questions asked ruling given back on your desk. And then for them to have the authority to say no, that he can't play, just continues to blow my mind. It blows my mind that this business model and this organization was brought in front of our country's highest court. The Supreme Court had Mark Emmert and the NCAA on their floor for a day and obliterated them. Just eviscerated them, dressed them down, told them that what they're doing is illegal. The quote that lives and breathes is one of the Supreme Court justices telling Mark Emmert, this business model is illegal in every country, not just America, where we are free to do whatever we want, practice, business. You can do what you want. This is illegal here. It's also illegal in third world countries around the globe. Yet, 2.5 years later, they still operate. They're still open for business. How? Genuinely, sincerely, how? How can the highest form of our government say, this can't exist? This is illegal. Yet, they still operate. They still function. They still have the authority to say, no, he can't play. After 8 months of looking at the case of Just the fact that he moved from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. That's what the waiver was. He's going from Tulane to LSU. An hour. There's no like he wasn't in trouble. He wasn't a grade risk. He wasn't in trouble with the law. He was nothing. He just wants to go back to where he started college from. The same place while he was there that you told him and everybody in the college basketball world is the most toxic college basketball environment in the country. So why aren't we applauding Jaylen Cook for leaving and now wanting to come back when it's been cleaned up? It's the example that the NCAA is using around the country. The LSU basketball program under Will Wade was poison. It was venomous to the sport. It was the place.
Get out while you can.
It was the place that invented cheating. Cheating had never been seen in college basketball ever until Will Wade got to LSU. And then they developed all these committees up in Indianapolis to prove it, and they couldn't prove it. So Wade's out of a job. The basketball program has had their legs cut out from them. I mean, like they've starting from scratch. Literally, they didn't have a team last year when Matt McMahon took over.
Still don't.
So he puts together a team 2 years later under the rules, gets a point guard who averages 20, who started his college basketball career at LSU, transferred to Tulane when the NCAA said the place was toxic, tries to come back, and now he can't play? Why? How? Who? Who says so? Over what? It is amazing to me that the place exists. It's unreal, unfathomable that they can come down and tell Jaylen Cook he can't play for the entire year. I mean, I think LSU needs to go full North Carolina here. Mm-hmm. They need to go full West Virginia here. West Virginia just got a player eligible just by going to the NCAA. They had like state senators get involved at West Virginia. You know, like North Carolina was just putting pressure on them from a PR standpoint.
The background squeeze.
Absolutely. I mean, this is something that I would say like Kim Mulkey should speak up on. Other people on campus that, you know, have power. That when they speak, people listen. I don't expect Brian Kelly to address the Jaylen Cook situation the week of the Bama game. But those types of personalities and power figures that are on campus need to get behind this. This is a crime. This is an absolute crime. Cook's got a chance to go and play professional basketball somewhere. He may not be an NBAer. He may not be a guy that can play on the highest level. He might be, though. I don't know. I know for sure he can play in Europe. I know for sure he can play in the G League. I know for sure Jaylen Cook can draw a check for playing basketball for the next 8 years if he wanted to, if he stays healthy. Somewhere. If you can score 20 a night in college basketball, you can play. And just to take that out from underneath the kid and say, nah, sorry, man. In a program that we deemed was just bad for the soul, bad for the sport, that you left when we said so, and now you want to come back? No grade risk, no problems off the floor, nothing. Just wants to come home. No, sorry. F you, man. Like, seriously. Like, F you. Get the hell out of here. How does this happen? I feel so bad for Jaylen Cook. I feel so bad for Matt McMahon. I mean, really, you take 22 points off the floor on any team. You do that to the Golden State Warriors and it affects them. You do it to a college basketball team at the start of November? At the start of the season?
That's the other thing. They had so much time.
Dude, I knew it was going to happen. We talked about this.
We've been talking about it for a month, which is even insane. Even that's insane.
We set ourselves up for this. I'm more pissed than I thought. I mean, it drives me mad that this can Happen. Mason Smith can't play a game. Get the hell out of here.
Well, that's the other thing. Who's reviewing it?
That's I don't know.
Exactly.
There's no statement. There's no source. There's no.
It's just flip it.
It's just Jaylen Cook can't play.
Here comes a letterhead from the NCAA, and it's guess what? Not good news. When is it ever good news? When do you think you were going to get he could go back? And that's the other thing. This is such a case in which makes sense for him to be able to play. Like the NCAA almost they honey hold themselves. Where you want to make Will Wade the bad actor in this whole movie? Okay, one guy got out of town. You told him to leave. Now it's like, okay, it's safe to come back to town. No, you can't be back here. You told me it was okay if I left, I could come back.
It's inexplicable.
It's Tez Walker.
It's worse than Tez Walker.
It's worse.
I mean, but I hope that people look at the Tez Walker situation and apply the pressure that it deserves. Like, call these suits out, man. Like, who are these people?
That's the scary thing.
Who has the authority? Why can they do this?
There's no name attached to this email.
It's crazy, man.
It's
crazy. It really is, man.
Is that Bone?
I can't believe it. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I mean, I really don't. I don't know.
So I'm saying, whenever you get the what movie is it? When you get the letterhead, when you get the note card,
the firm.
It's like, oh, does he have Bone?
I mean,
how did he get that? Who are these people?
It
makes no sense that you can have a kid that. And that's the other part where you hit the nail on the head, but when you have the other side of it where you have a Jaylen Cook who is trying to play basketball and wants to do it professionally probably.
Like that's
and you're going to take it like how are you doing a betterment for the kid?
Right, like so
is this your job? It's an automatic no every time.
Are you in for the
what?
Good of
they're
the
in for it to say
athlete?
No.
Are you in for the positive let him sit out a week of the regular season? I mean, like, okay. I mean, the whole entire year he loses over what?
Like, 2000. What? That's a 2002 punishment.
It just, man.
Jim Tressel.
Get the hell out of here. Like, how does this happen?
At the same token, Harbaugh is going to coach for a national championship. And you couldn't have more evidence staring you in the face, but we're going to move slow. Oh, the dredges of justice move slowly here. You have a bigger scandal staring you in the face. It's like, hold on, Jaylen Cook. We got to get to that. But your biggest sport that you have a hand in has a bad actor in Colin and Stallions, who's actively wearing sunglasses that can record.
But Michigan is also showing you how to deal with them.
Right.
Like look at what Michigan is doing. I don't understand why people don't take that playbook, that part of the playbook, and say, all right, look, there it is. Because at the end of it, it's a sham. It's a sham of a business model. It's a house of cards. I mean, really and truly, it is a house of cards. If you open the door and keep asking questions and keep opening doors, you're finally going to see, like, oh, hang on, like
nobody here's a charge.
Nobody's even here. Like, I mean, like, there's nobody even at this place. I mean, what? This is a house of cards.
Front.
Yeah, it's a fraud. I mean, like, no, we're not listening to you.
I'm not paying that.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, like, yeah, Mason Smith's gonna play. What are you gonna do? Like, what are you going to do about it? If
come down there, I swear to God.
Jaylen Cook plays. Like, what can you, like, I know that they could keep him out of the tournament because that's really kind of the last piece of the NCAA's ownership. I guess that's why they're able to get away with all of this, because they make so much they've got so much money and they make it off the tournament. But I mean,
that's all they have money to.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it, man. It is crushing for Jaylen Cook. It's crushing for Matt McMahon. I mean, do we understand the mountain that Matt McMahon has been climbing? I mean, I know like a week and a half ago, he finally, like, in a press conference setting, said and opened up about like what they've had to rebuild And for people that may just kind of be looking from the, kind of the fringe and wondering what's going on with LSU basketball, I mean, the task and the responsibility he had to rebuild, and still in the middle of rebuilding the program, it could go down as the greatest challenge that a Division I school has seen in the last 20 years. I mean, when he took over the job, literally there was 2 players on the roster. I mean, and for him to get to this point and do so much hard work, so much, pulling and trying to get the roster together, you put a point guard on the list that averages 20 a night, and you find out a week, 3 days before the season starts, he's out. Like, bruh, like hit after hit after hit. It just, man. So now, you're talking. You lose your point guard. You lose your point guard, and you lose 20 points a night. Now, the rotation you would think be a couple of Baton Rouge guys, Carlos Stewart and Jordan Wright, who played for Jonathan Pixley over at Dunham. Trey Hannibal's still around. Mike Williams is there. Tyrell Ward can play some guard as well. But, it just...
Well, it goes to show what you do if you play by the rules with the NCAA. You're like the last kid at the party that the cop says, hey, stop. And you're the one kid that stopped. You're the one kid that stops.
It's like that security guard
you
a couple of weeks ago, where he's like trying to stop 5,000 people.
Just runs into him.
Running on and he just throws an elbow at some girl. You know what I mean? It's like,
did my job.
You got no problem. Get out of here, man. Go sit back down in the chair. Like it's
already happened.
It's over.
Thanks for tuning in to our premium LSU content right here on YouTube. If you want more of it, subscribe below.